Hello, how are you? I'm Kayla, and this is Flosstube number 18. And it's been over a month again. So I'll just skip the apologies, but hopefully I'll get better. I don't know. Okay, so how are you? I hope you're doing well. We're doing fine. We're about to start school again next Monday. Our probably last year of homeschooling because my son wants to do middle school. He wants a locker. So that kind of makes me sad, but it's fine. We'll see about that. Okay, anyway. And so we're starting school next week. His football started, so 2-3 practices a night per week. Yeah, and everything else is good. We're fine. Whatever. Okay, so I've got 3 FFOs to share with you. And in my case, they don't stand for fully finished objects. They stand for finely finished objects, I think, because the projects have been done a while. But, well, not the one. The one's fairly new, but the other 2. But anyway, they're fully finely finished FFO. And a little bit of progress on whips, 1 new start, which is almost a finish. I just need to do, I don't know, spend a little bit more time on it, a little bit of quilting, a little bit of knitting. So let's just get into it. I don't think this will be very long. Let's start with the fully finely finished objects. First is Sheep Heap. I have some fuzz on this. Okay. I finished this into a pillow. I think this is in Pea Pod. This is Lady Dot Creates Velveteen, and this is stuff I already had. I didn't buy it for this. And this was just leftover. So this is the backing. And then I used just some black chenille yarn, which I got from Dollar Tree a while ago. That's been sitting around. I knew it would be good for something. And I still got quite a bit left. So yeah, it's just stuffed with polyfill because that's what I have. And you can see, like, I could have done better on the corners and everything, but I actually don't mind how it's a little like pinchy at the corners. I don't know, I kind of like it. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. I was quilting one day and I was like, let me take 5 seconds. It took longer than that, but let me take the time just to make this into a little pillow. So I did, and I really like it. I'm glad I have it displayed, or can display it now. I have been displaying it over there. You guys can't see, with all my other little pillows. All right. There's not much to say, right? It's just like, here it is, I did it. Here is another FFO. Oh, should I have said Plum Street Samplers Sheep Heap with the DMC conversion from the chart on this check. I guess it's like a Lugana or even weave that I got from Hobby Lobby, 32 count, 2/2. I guess I should say that, right? Okay, back to this. This is Hands-On Design Bloom Chalkful, which I did on 32 count Zweigart charcoal with 2/2. This was just DMC, but it wasn't the conversion from the chart. This is just, I picked out ones that looked similar to the picture and then did it. And I did not do the Smyrna crosses that were kind of scattered throughout here. I finished all the cross stitch and I was like, yep, I'm good. I didn't feel like I needed anything else. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And what I did with this, it's not the perfect size, as you can see, like here, you can see the back a little. It pokes over on some of the wooblies. This is just a pre-cut little board, which was also purchased from the Dollar Tree. I hoped this would fit better, but I actually don't mind that it's, imperfect. I just painted it with a mixture of acrylic paint. It was all stuff that I already had. I was like, if I'm doing this, I'm not going and buying stuff. So I had like a navy blue, a tiny bit of cream. I think I actually was out of white, and then a tiny bit of light gray. So I mixed the navy with the cream and a little bit of light gray to get this blue, which I was hoping to get a little closer to this color, but you know, I literally ran out of cream. I had nothing else to mix it with to make it lighter. So this is the color I ended up with, and I actually don't mind it. And then I mounted the cross stitch on a piece of like mat board with some batting glued onto it. And I just, you know, pulled it tight and glued it, and then glued it onto the board, and then added this little baker's twine tightly around. I was gonna do a little bow and everything, but honestly, I'm not much of a bow girl, generally speaking. I think it's really cute when other people do it, but I don't know. I just never like it when I try. So yeah, and this just kind of hangs out by the pillows too, just kind of propped up. I could add something to the back to make it hang, but I have not done that yet. But again, it's better done imperfectly than sitting in a bag sad and not finished, you know? So there's that. And then my last fully finished object is my finish from last video, Thankful Every Day. This is just a Mill Hill frame. So this pattern is Thankful Every Day by Heartstring Samplery. It's a free pattern available on her website. I used all of the called for fancy floss with the exception, I think Gentle Arts Apple Cider I replaced with DMC. I want to say 832, but I could be wrong. And it's Zweigart 32 count. I think it's called Lemon Yellow. This frame is, like I said, a Mill Hill frame I bought from 123 Stitch. And it's in the rust color. So these frames come without glass and without anything fancy, which is kind of perfect for how I generally frame. This is mounted and pinned with sequin pins. It's mounted on foam board with some batting glued onto it, and then I just do sequin pins as I pull tight around the sides. As you can see, it's just a little too snug along the sides here. You know, another 1/2 inch wider would be better. I'm sorry, my phone or my iPad just made noise. Like if this was a 1/2 inch wider on either side, it would be better, right? But I didn't want to pay for a custom frame. So I decided to be happy with what it was. I was originally going to purchase a frame from Etsy from, I think it's called Signed and Numbered, the Etsy shop, which is the place where everyone who is buying the like square frames with the round opening, like the Lindy Stitch's Bird Crush Club frames that she is featuring, that's that shop. And I was going to buy, you know, just another, basically the same size, just a little different frame from them. But the Mill Hill frame was, you know, a lot more affordable, like less than half the price. And while I really like, you know, supporting small businesses when I can, sometimes I opt for more affordable, and this time I did. So yeah, but I'm really happy with, you know, how the colors go together. Like again, this is rust, and then this, you know, they coincide really nicely. So yeah, and honestly, I'll show you the back. It's messy, don't cringe. That's how I have it in there. It just comes with a peg, so yeah. I really am glad to have it out and perfect for fall coming up, so yay. Okay, so yeah, I haven't been stitching every day at all, even though like I like to and I want to, but I just haven't. So anyway, that's that. I should have this finished, but I don't. Like, that's my problem. But ex-school friend, I do have a tiny bit of progress on her. I mean, I'm just working on the lady now, you know. I did all the flowers, the whole outside. I did these big flowers, I think, since since we last spoke. And now I just have to, you know, work on her head, basically. I have to do her head, which is my favorite part, but I started something else, a Christmas ornament. So I put this aside and I was like, oh, I'll come back to it. And then of course I didn't, because, you know, it'll be not too bad though to finish. So that's my one thing. And then the Christmas ornament that I started, this is a new start. And honestly, I should have it finished too. I just have the beading left to do. Let me get out the picture if I can find it. Hold on. So honestly, the reason I don't have this finished is because I know I have to sit down like at the dining room table and do this in order to not get the beads spilled everywhere, because the cats are so busy and naughty that I know that the beads will just get knocked over. I don't have one of those CD things that has like, I know they're not a CD. I don't remember what they're called. I think you've seen the products maybe, where it's like a CD case and it's sticky on the inside and all the beads stick to that. I don't have one of those things. Usually I either fold a piece of paper into a little square saucer type thing and hold the beads and perch it precariously on my pillow as I'm working, or I get a little actual saucer and put the beads in there and again, perch precariously as I'm working. But since the cats are very busy and naughty, I'm very afraid to try to do that on the couch. So I just have to sit at the dining room table and spend an hour or two doing it. Probably not even that long, honestly. Because, yeah, that's all it is. So this is called Kitty's Stocking. And this will be for Amy for her ornament for this year. And I've got all the stitching done. Let me put this behind it. And I just have the beads left and the little charm. And obviously to make it into like a hanging thing. It came with a magnet, but, oh, excuse me. I'm going to make it a stocking or an ornament. It was really cute. It was fun to do. Such a difference from like the first cross stitch thing I ever did. If you ever watched my first video, I shared a Mill Hill ornament. It was like a Halloween-y decoration one, and that took me weeks to do because it was my first time, you know, reading a cross stitch chart or cross stitching at all. This, you know, went so much faster, and I was like, wow, what a difference. So, yeah, there's that. I just have to do the beading. That'll be not too long, honestly. And then the last cross stitch thing I have to share with you guys is I worked some more on Froth and Bubble by Long Dog Samplers. I just have to find the cover page. I should have taken it out before I started filming. Sorry. Here it is. By the way, the last Flosstube, I totally lost a needle and I didn't find it ever. Okay, Long Dog Samplers, Froth and Bubble. I really do love this. Every time I take it out and work on it, I'm like, man, I wish this was finished. And then I don't, you know, work enough on it to make a ton of progress, but progress is progress. And okay, so here's where I'm at. This is again, this is a very 32 count heavy floss tube, I've noticed. I do like 36 count as well, but anyway. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I've done a lot more of the outlining for the second band, and I plan to finish all the outlining in this band before I move on to the filling in, because that's very satisfying to get it all done like that. Please excuse the needle that's just right there. But that's where I'm at. I realized that I probably messed up and I don't think I have enough room for this whole piece. Like, I think I'll need another, like, this much or so, just guessing, of linen. I'm not sure if I mismeasured when I started this or if I literally just thought that a fat quarter could not possibly not be big enough. This is like, you know, this is my oldest project that I currently have going. And so I think it was probably one of those things, like I bought a fat quarter and I was like, it's going to fit, obviously. Like I don't even think I measured the length. So luckily though, this is just white Zweigart 32 count that I purchased at Hobby Lobby back then. So I'll be able to get more, and I'm literally just gonna attach it at the bottom. I'm just gonna sew more onto the bottom if I need more, which I think I will. And it'll be like, a join in one of those really old samplers that everyone thinks is so charming. It's not gonna be as charming with this project, but that's my option, right? Or leave it unfinished, which I don't wanna do. Like, I don't wanna leave off this band because it's awesome. So, when it comes to that, that's my plan. So be advised, if you start this, actually measure, please, like you should do with any project. I'm determined not to let that realization deter me from working on this. I really would like, to make serious progress on it, and I would like to finish this. I want this on my wall. So yeah, it's just one of those things that I'm like, yo, Kayla, you're silly, but hey, whatever. And I am using all the DMC that is called for. 2/2. Okay, so that's actually all the cross stitch I have. I just have a tiny bit of knitting and a tiny bit of quilting, and then I'll be done. So this is really quick. Thanks if you're here and you're returning. Thanks for, being so patient with me. Okay, so as for knitting goes, nothing crazy, but I did finish a sock. Yay. And I started its partner. This is, let me think, what is this called? This is Patton's Croy Socks. Yarn in Sidewalk Chalk Stripes, which is again a Hobby Lobby purchase, probably when it was on sale, and I just liked the colors. So I love me some self-striping yarn, and this is just a so this is 1x1 rib up at the cuff, and then a 3x1 rib all the way around the body. I'm not following a pattern, I'm just doing this, and then I did a heel flap and gusset, which I feel like fits my feet the best out of the heels that I've tried. And then it's just plain stockinette on the bottom of the foot, and along the top I continued the 3x1 rib, and then a I don't know, what do you call this, a wedge toe shape. So yeah, and I do 60 stitches on US size 1. I think that's 2.25 millimeters. Right now these are the ChowGoo, like the short little circulars. And then once I get to the heel flap and gusset and all of that, I do double pointed needles until all the decreases are done, and then I switch back to the ChowGoos until I'm to the toe for the decreases, and then I switch back to double pointed needles. Not a fan of the magic loop method, so I do it that way. I could do DPNs the whole time, but I find I go much faster with the ChowGoo little mini circulars. So I just have to adjust, like, it feels different to knit with the ChowGoo mini circulars than with DPNs, of course. And so once I've been using the DPNs for a while, it feels odd at first to switch back to the circulars. But, within a few rounds I get readjusted, and then it's much faster. So yeah. Sock. The other knitting thing that I have, gosh, it feels like I did this so long ago, which is why I should be doing updates more frequently. It's like I think of doing a floss tube and then I don't make it a priority, and then the day gets away from me, and that just keeps happening. But anyway, my darling stepson Billy and his girlfriend share Build-A-Bear stuffed animals. They have 2. They're really cute. My stepson and his girlfriend, they're really cute. Their stuffed animals are cute too. Anyway, so this frog is Fenwick, and he wanted me to make him a sweater vest. I don't have it here. So that's Fenwick the frog, my grand frog. And there's his little sweater vest, which my stepson Billy picked out the colors. I'll tell you in a second. It's just the cheapest Hobby Lobby yarn that we could find. And I duplicate stitched the little argyle diamond in it. So that's not Intarsia. I duplicate stitched it because I did not feel like messing around with Intarsia. It took me like, I don't know, a day and a half maybe to do it. It's on my Ravelry page if anyone's interested, but it is the Toy Pullover / Vest by Janet Harvey. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Oh, and it was Yarn Bee Mini Maker was the yarn. So it's just a very cheap acrylic, nothing fancy. But yeah, that's my Grand Frog's sweater vest. And then the last thing I have to share with you guys is a tiny bit of knitting, or not knitting, sorry, quilting. I got all of the A blocks done for Amy's quilt. So that's 18, so it's half of the blocks are done. I have to do another 18 blocks of the B blocks, sorry. So there's 2 of each like color, you know? I'll just hold, so that's 2. And then each one I show, there's gonna be 2 of them, but I'm not gonna show each like individual. So there's 2 of those. This is, I think it's called the Woven Jacob's Ladder quilt. It's by Missouri Star Quilt Company. They have a triple play video where they share this as one of the quilts in it. I think this was Misty's version. And I actually think that you can buy a pattern from Missouri Star Quilt Company, but I didn't really realize that when I started. I just kind of watched the triple play and like went with it. So, but I did buy fabric from them, so I don't feel totally terrible that, you know, I didn't buy the pattern. But, and then these are the last 2. So yeah, so there's, I think 18, and then it's a total of 36 blocks, and then an inner border and an outer border. So it's kind of, the blocks are half done. Well, I'd say slightly more than half done because the other ones are cut out. I just have to do all the steps and assemble them. And then the last thing of quilting I have, I'm not even going to show you the whole thing, but I did spend some time the other day and actually did a little bit more hand quilting on this Teresa Kogut panel, which is just going to be a little lap quilt. I honestly don't even know if you can see the stitches. You really can't, so it's kind of useless to try to show you, but I got all these outlined, which is what I've been doing, and this side one here. You can't see it, but I can feel it. So that's all hand quilted. It's gonna be a long time, but if I actually work on it, you know, I'll make progress. So yeah, my priority really is Amy's quilt, but one day I was just kind of feeling like I didn't want to sit down at the machine. Didn't really feel like looking at a pattern for cross stitching. You know, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, so I picked that quilt up and spent some time doing it. So yeah, that's all I have to share. Hopefully I'll have more cross stitching next time. I am itching to knit a hat though, I gotta say, a hat or 2. It's that time of year where I start to think about fall and it's starting to get cold, so you know, thinking more about knitting. I really want to knit a sweater also, but I'm not finished losing weight, hopefully. So I don't know what size to knit, so I'm not going to waste my time doing that. Yeah, so I hope you're well. I hope as the days get shorter and, you know, we settle into school, maybe I'll be cross-stitching a bit more in the afternoons. That would be awesome. But, you know, we'll see. And anyway, I hope you're doing well. Keep stitching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.